finding the time. A lot of times when you talk to people about doing something different in their life, making some changes, whatever those changes are, you know, some weight loss, some self-help, changing your mentality on something, doing some research into politics because you don't like the way things are going, trying to make a change in the school district system because you don't like the way your kids are being educated, looking for a new job, updating your resume, getting in better shape. Whatever it is, a common excuse is always, oh, I don't have the time, I'm too busy. Well, it's one of the reasons why I'm chatting about that right now. I'm huffing it out on the treadmill right now, breathing a little bit, trying to keep up with talking the whole time. But I found the time to do this video. I wasn't just sitting here on the treadmill listening to music or anything else. It was something I wanted to do. And if I looked for the perfect time where I'd be able to sit down in a nice quiet background with a more attractive background, even though it's behind me. Hey, look at what the hell is behind me, guys. That isn't real pretty to look at. Sorry about the backdrop, but I don't think you'd appreciate it if I drug this treadmill out and turned it around so you can see the whole gym. But I'll let you see it real quick. So as I pulled up this morning, I counted 17 vehicles in the car at 10 minutes to 5, including probably half of those vehicles, the girls and guys that take my class at 5 a.m. that are in there this morning with Devin taking the class. See, all these people in here right now, they understand what it takes to succeed in some goals. Maybe some of these people just wake up naturally, but I'm going to take a guess that most of them, like myself, had to set an alarm to get up to make sure that they were in here at 5 o'clock, to work hard towards their goals, to push themselves, to get something done, something accomplished before they even went to work in the morning. There's a lot of mornings when I do my class or whatever, I get to work at 7 o'clock and I look and I already got 6,000 to 7,000 steps on my Fitbit on the way to who knows how many for the day. See? It's all about finding that time. Yesterday, I wanted to throw you guys some videos, let you know what was going on with one of the new businesses, the Sea-Doo fishing charter down at Cape May. It was cold yesterday morning. I made a video on the way in, still in the process of getting that published to you guys. Made a couple videos at the marina. You know what I mean? I found the time to get it done. So, we chatted for a couple minutes. One of the things I really wanted to get into this morning, and I might have lost some of you guys talking too long, or maybe I didn't, maybe you're still watching, but I decided to use part of this time this morning to supplement time I might not be able to find to get in front of a whiteboard and put down some ideas. So I figured if I had it on video, I wouldn't lose the ideas. I can go back and look at them later. So as I mentioned yesterday on the way home, I was watching some Grant Cardone videos. Didn't really care what was coming up, wasn't choosing from a playlist. I just got one going and I just let YouTube take me where it took me. So first video I watched was about 45 minutes. Second video I watched took us into Grant talking about how to build your brand, how to market better. It was kind of a very timely video. I met with one of my mentors, Tom Washington Jr., last week. It might be 2 weeks ago now. I think it was last week. We were talking about some things, going over some ideas, one of which was the branding, and he's been branding himself for years. Tom the Coach, TomTheCoach.com. It's got a lot of other websites, but primarily it's Tom the Coach. So he knows the importance of branding. He's been working on branding. He was telling me that, Steve, part of this whole process, if you want to grow, if you want to let people know who you are, you want to have anybody follow you or respect what you're trying to do, you got to be able to tell your story. So I've got a lot of stories to tell, a lot of stories I've forgotten, that maybe somewhere situationally in doing something, you're reminded of something and then you got another little story. But Tom was telling me it's important to have your story, to know who you are. I've been thinking about that for 2 weeks. You haven't taken any action on it yet. Grant's video yesterday was all about being able to tell your story, let people know who you are. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Every single one of us are who we are because of our story. That's what brought us to where we are nowadays, or today, however you want to look at it. And there's a lot of people out there that can share the experience of your story and know where you're coming from and say, yeah, I've had the same thing happen to me. So essentially, for that whole 45, 55 minutes, it was close to an hour-long video maybe, Grant had a whiteboard up, was talking about your story, know your story, and he was writing down the ideas. So I couldn't find the time this morning without making a sacrifice. Fitness, something I didn't want to sacrifice, to do that. So I'm going to start just kind of throwing some things out there, My story, I'll come back later, watch this video, probably at like 2x as fast as YouTube will let me run through it, so I can get those ideas and I can actually write them down, start doing something with them. So, who am I right now? Stephen Bush, Stephen B. Bush, Strive with Steve. All right, Steve the coach. I am a coach. I'm a trainer. I'm a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a son, grandson, but none of my grandparents are living right now. Great-grandson, none of them are living right now, but I still am a grandson and a great-grandson. The family members that have brought me, helped bring me to where I am now. I'm a union carpenter. I'm a computer guy. I'm a teacher. I'm an instructor. I think I said coach already. When you're doing one of these, you just let the ideas flow, right? I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor. I just recently competed in my first bodybuilding show in over 30 years. At 53 years old, about to turn 54, competed in 4 divisions, medaled in all 4 divisions. That was a very tough journey. I spoke it into existence. I told people what was happening. I told people that I was going to medal in every division. I worked hard, worked my way through, got there. What else? I'm an entrepreneur. I've got several businesses that I've tried in the past with varying levels of small success, many of which are still bringing me checks on anywhere from a weekly to a monthly basis. All right, streams of income. How many streams of income would you like to have? Are you working on a business or multiple businesses? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you doing what it takes every day to make yourself better, to brand yourself, to increase your knowledge base? Right? One of the things that we all talk about. I was a child that lived in fear. Going back to just about as early as I can remember, maybe not kindergarten, but definitely first grade through about 8th grade, I was somebody that was the end point of bullying. Pretty bad bullying the way I remember it. From first grade through 8th grade, it was horrible life, horrible existence. Running home from school every day, fearful of getting jumped and getting my butt kicked on the way home. Constantly in fights, constantly being picked on. Bullying rules didn't exist back then, and there was no video, there was no online presence, so bullying was all in person. It was all real up close and up personal, and I lived through that. Moved down to Georgia, it was right before 8th grade, so I started 8th grade middle school in a suburb. Forget what the suburb name was, but it was right outside of the city of Atlanta. It was a pretty big school, Dutton Middle School, I went to. Jumped right into that in 8th grade. And it was a very, very diverse school, but very, very cliquey. You were either a rich white kid that was yuppie or preppy, had 2 or 3 polo shirts, short sleeve shirts that you would wear with the collars up, and then a long sleeve polo shirt buttoned about halfway up outside of that with the sleeves rolled up. I mean, like true yuppie, preppy, country club, cash kids. And I'm throwing a couple labels on there, but I'm not making fun of them. They were a product of their environment, right? There was the redneck hillbilly crew. There was the heavy metal crew. There was the pot smoking crew. There was the black guys crew. Right? It was just totally, totally diverse. And I went from having 0 true plan or 0 where I clicked into here in PA, moving down there to Atlanta, Georgia at somehow or another, I was able to make it into every single one of those cliques and had friends in every single one of those cliques. Kind of remember being one of the only people that didn't particularly fit in anywhere, but made myself fit in a lot of different places. So that was a turning point in my life. I don't know what to call that, but that's part of who I am. Who else am I? A succeeder. I've got drive. Becoming a marketer. Trying to become an online presence. I'm a guide. I'm a fisherman. Not really into sports. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to do, right? Like I said, he had a whiteboard. He just sat there and he just went through. And for a good 45 minutes, he just kept remembering more and more about things he did. You realize he got 20 minutes into that whiteboard before he even mentioned public speaker. So I guess I can consider myself a public speaker now, right? But I mean, this guy goes around the world speaking in front of huge audiences, speaks in front of a camera every single day. Took him 20 minutes of writing down ideas of who he was before he even got to that point, right? For years, chased down drugs and alcohol, trying to, who knows what I was trying to do, but it numbed me, took a lot of my drive away. Don't do any of that stuff now. At 53, going on 54, my drive level's way up there. So, I'm not gonna keep you guys much longer. I've been talking on this one for quite a while here, and part of